Happy Friday. Headed home. Today morning I took a wrong road. I was like, well, normally I get into, excuse me, carrier lumber from this direction, but my GPS says this other direction here is faster. Do the math, yeah, it would be faster. Let's go take the direction GPS tells me to go. Let's listen to the GPS for once. Nay, nay. No. Bad GPS. Turn onto the road, start driving down the road, and there's this big sign. Gross vehicle weight, 5 tons. I'm like, well, Chucky darn. I'm not allowed to be on this road. There's no sign that says no trucks or 5 tons on the highway when you first turn onto the road. You gotta drive a little way down the road before you realize, I'm not allowed on this road. I'm a Super B, I can't just turn around. I'm like, well, it's the first time and last time I'm taking this road, but I'm going. Went all the way to the bottom, no problems. Like, at least I'm empty. I've had that situation before, loaded, and I'm like, okay, this is bad. I'm not allowed to be on this road. It's not designed for the weight of my trailers. Please don't destroy this road. And hopefully there's an opportunity to turn around. So got to carrier lumber. It was truck number 3 in line. I load pretty efficiently there, so that being third in line is not a horrible deal there. It's off waiting to get loaded for about 45 minutes, then we started getting loaded, so not bad at all. And now we're on Highway 97, southbound. I think we're getting pretty close to Quesnel. Might still be a way out, but we're headed southbound to coming towards Quesnel right now. Slow. 4.96. How tall am I? I don't know, I didn't measure. Usually 3 tiers of lumbers like this is a pretty darn good guess. I'm going to be 4, maybe just a hair under 4. If I wasn't 100% sure that this load was legal height, you look at it and go, that looks a little tall. Measure it, and every time I've had to go, that looks a little tall. Well, not every time, that's not true. Looks a little tall. I'm going to go measure it, and I go, oh, I'm fine, within the legal limits. I know the one time I went and measured, I'm like, nope, over, take it off. I cannot take, what was it? It was a fuel tank. Excuse me. You guys are gonna have to get a low bed for that one. coughing is almost gone until I start talking. Extremely windy up here, at least some parts. Like here it doesn't look like there's much wind. In Prince George it was so windy I had a hard time throwing my straps. I had to throw one strap, run around the other side and quickly grab it before it gets blown off the back of the trailer. It was obnoxious. Thankfully I do not have to tarp this load. Tarping the load would not have been fun. I don't even know how I would have done it. I would have maybe asked for help from the forklift driver. Like, can you hold this corner while I go unroll this, and we'll put a bungee on this corner and then go hold this corner. It would have been work just to try to get the tarp placed. Yeah, thankfully it's not a tarp load. I've had a couple of times where the tarp was difficult to handle. Only once where the tarp was nearly impossible to handle. It would have been impossible to handle by myself. But Jess was with, and she jumped out. And we took a bunch of heavy items like my cinching bar and stuff like that, threw it on top of the tarp at strategic places. And together working, took us a long time to fold the tarps, roll them up. That was an untarping situation. I would have been there a long time if I hadn't had help. But luckily, no tarp. But even just the straps were obnoxious. So I went to family's place for about 2.5 hours last night in Prince George. I let my sister know earlier in the day that I'd be arriving around 7 p.m. She forgot. So I knocked on the door and just walked in, and my niece, you should have seen her face, just like jaw dropped, kind of like, what are you doing here walking into our house? That was pretty awesome. My nephew is still at soccer practice. He came home, went straight down to his bedroom. I kept talking loudly, and eventually he comes up and goes, "Who's here?" I realized it was me. It was funny. It was awesome. And then I played some video games with him, and well, actually with all of them. We played some Nintendo. We played Worms on Nintendo. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We blew each other up. Games like that are a lot more fun in big group settings when you have a whole bunch of players. So there's like 5 of us. I won the first round. Second round, I was second last to get my nephew on the second round. I gotta say, not bad for a guy that doesn't play Nintendo very often. Looking like a little blue sky here. I like a little blue sky. optimistic for the Okanagan Valley. I haven't looked at any weather. It's +6 out, so I'm like, I'm happy. Roads are not slippery. Go. I think we're closer to Quesnel than I thought. It's starting to feel like Quesnel area. See if the scale's open. The scale just south of Prince George was closed, so I don't actually know my exact weight, but I know my gauges. So the PSI gauge on the truck read 69 PSI. I know I'm the truck is always a little question. I don't know why. With my trailers, I know exactly what PSI I can go to. Like the needle, I can be dead on and I feel safe going over the scale. On the truck, it's a bit of a guessing game. It's like you look at the truck, it looks like we're a little bit angled, a little bit down, or we're angled a little bit up, or we're on completely even ground. It drastically changes how the PSI gauge reads. So sometimes I have been a little bit overweight, but as a rule, I go to 70 PSI on the truck. And we've been safe, and it said 69 PSI on the yard, and it looked pretty darn straight there, so I'm hoping I'm underweight on the drives. My bridge, the first trailer, the back end of the first trailer, we call it the bridge, read at 72 PSI, and I know I can go to 75 PSI on the dot, so the bridge is underweight, no problem there. My pup was at, I can go 79 PSI on the pup, and it was 82. I got him to move the bundles forward a bit, which made the bridge heavier. It was below 70 before we moved it. So we're now at 75 on the pup. So 69, 72, 75 are the PSIs. And according to my math, that puts me under on each axle. The drives are always, and the steers, who knows. But the steers, oh, he blew up. Not good. Looked like coolant on the ground. Hopefully just coolant. So yeah, in theory, I'm underweight. I'll never on purpose load overweight. That would just be dumb. Too many scales, too many, why risk it? I have a full tank of fuel too, so as I'm burning off fuel, it should get lighter and lighter as well. But being at 69, we're right at the borderline. It should be pretty darn close to maximum weight. And of course, if I read the train wrong and all of a sudden we were facing uphill while loading, I'll be over. But I'm fairly optimistic. Let's see if the scale's open. I always enjoy when this scale is closed because it's such a nuisance to get into, and then exiting the scale is serious nuisance. Okay, I don't see a CVSE truck at the scale, so my chances are that it'll be closed. closed. Nice. So you have to cross the road to the other side, and then there's a lot of traffic on this road. I move very slow, trying to get back across that traffic, 4 lanes of traffic to get back on here. Can be a nuisance. Throat's starting to feel dried out. Let me grab a cough drop. Oh, that truck passed me earlier, and he must, looks like he's 1 pallet less on there. I must have just unloaded 1 pallet there at the sports shop. Must have had a quad on in that box that he was delivering. Quad or snowmobile or whatever, right? This time of year, probably a snowmobile. Here we go, downtown Quesnel. Doing some sweeping. Really got you, keep your eyes peeled for all the pedestrians. Okay, she's hitting a button. Are we gonna get a yellow? Nope. Oh, there it is.
400 meters, turn left on Caribou Highway.
No thank you, Garmin. No thank you. I'll listen to the road sign up top instead. Look at these two pickups. Likely they will beat us
Turn left at the traffic light.
to the next intersection because they're turning. It's just easier for a Super Bean not to take that route. It's technically a little bit shorter. Got a fist bump, third fist bump this week. Gotta give it to him. Always fun.
Turn left on Davie Street. Continue on the road.
Okay, here's the intersection we would have come out of if we had followed the Garmin's instructions. Will we see those two pickups? I think that's one of them right there. The dirty one must have turned off. So he actually lost spots, taking the route the GPS tells you. Looks like we got some mats in front of us. Rig mats. My toes are cold. My heater fan's not blowing any warm air. I'll turn the bunk heat on just to get some warm air going. Turn that all the way up. Get the fan going. Let's blow some warm air in from the back. Don't worry, it's going into the shop. As soon as I get home, I'm parking it at the shop. Walking the 2 kilometers home. It'll be late at night, but just leave it there. And then they'll install the new fan. And everything in the truck should be working nicely again. So I've got to go over 2 more scales, likely 2 more scales, one in Kamloops and one in Vernon. The Kamloops one is at a brake check, you're forced to go over it if it's open or closed. And then the one in Vernon, it'll be late at night, probably closed, so I guess in Kamloops I'll find it for sure if I'm overweight or not. I don't think I am, but catching up with him. faster than me on the straightaways, so there's no point of passing him. So I just won't go full throttle. Someone lost a bungee. Try not to drive over a bungee. They're just rubber, who cares, right? Yeah, they got this nice metal hook at the end that goes through tires very nicely. Almost to the top. There we go. This end of Quesnel here seems to be a newer commercial area. What is that bright thing in the sky? It's trying to shine through the clouds. Haven't seen that for so long, I hardly recognize it. That's what I was hoping for. Pretty decent timing. Like it when it works out. Why do truckers do that? It makes such a huge difference on getting going faster again if we're still rolling. Even the truck in front of me, he probably didn't come to a complete stop, but he had to slow right down. I'm catching up with him fast. If he had to stop all the way, I would be zipping past him by now. The more momentum we can keep, the better. sun's poking out over there, but some of these clouds still look pretty darn stormy, don't they? Well guys, I'm gonna leave it there. You guys have a great weekend. Next video will be Monday, because this is getting delivered in Kelowna on Monday morning, so I won't do a video on Sunday. So I'll see you Monday. Feel free to join us on the weekends at my live Q&As, usually around 9 a.m. Pacific time zone on a Saturday and or Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for witching. Well, it is a season, right? Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday. Please hit that thumbs up if you make it to the end over here. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Be super, super much appreciated. Love all the subscribers that have been doing that. Really appreciate it. Thank you. God bless.